episode of Truth Serum. And this episode is really, it's going to be about everything that's going on in the country right now. You know, you've got George Floyd and Christian Cooper and Amy Cooper, the people from the Ramble in Central Park in New York City. And this is an episode I did not want to do. Because I did not feel that two middle-aged white women could talk about this and be sensitive and intelligent and thoughtful. And not that we aren't those things, it's because who am I to talk on something that I have never experienced? And Val's take on this was,
we're giving you a shot of the truth. And this is what this station, this channel, this is what we do. And in order for us to shine a light, we have to talk. We have to talk about it, to have those hard conversations, whether it's our kids.
Yeah, it's something that we've always said.
Yeah.
You always have to have the hard conversation.
It's uncomfortable because I too have not experienced
uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, everything that is happening that's happening in the world right now. And I almost want to shelter and just be like, oh, it's not part of what I do.
Yeah.
Not part of what I do. I'm just going to go over here in my little world. And then we spent a lot of time debating about whether to film this or not. Like you said, two middle-aged white women talking about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Talking about what does that mean to me? What does that mean to you? What does that mean in my world?
I have to give credit to my best friend. You've seen him on this channel once or twice. His name is Garrett, and he has been my best friend for 40-something years. And yes, he is my Black best friend. But it was important for me to reach out to him and talk to him about yes or no, and the only thing he wants is that he wants people to have the uncomfortable conversation. He wants people to talk, to communicate, and to educate.
Right.
Those were his biggest issues. That's all he wants.
We're afraid to say something wrong, right? Like, I think that is part of my fear of having this conversation. I'm afraid I'm going to say something wrong. And I'll give you a quick example. And you and I had this conversation over the phone when we were like, Black Lives Matter. And then we were like, but all lives matter. We've heard that thrown around. And then you rightfully and thoughtfully educated me on what that was. And I didn't really know, to be honest with you. Like, oh, that is the plight. That is...
yeah, I mean, for a very long time, I was, all lives matter, all lives matter.
Right.
Until I saw a YouTube video of late teens, early 20s, maybe she was 15, of a Black young lady who was talking about the definition of Black Lives Matter. And she goes, of course all lives matter, purple, orange, green, I don't care. Black Lives Matter is solely dedicated to the plight of a Black male being oppressed in this society where he is judged by his skin color.
Right.
And we've seen it, I mean, with the Amy, it's been around forever. So please don't take my words out of context. See, and here's
again, we're afraid. Am I going to say something wrong? We're discussing. We're trying. We're putting it out there. We're learning. Right.
And okay, yes. And Seth Rogen, it was great. He was on his Instagram. You might have seen it. He was saying, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, and people were responding, all lives matter, all lives matter. And he's like, fuck you, get off, go block me, don't go to my movies. If you can't understand the concept of Black Lives Matter, you don't deserve to see my movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
People have different ways of expressing themselves.
I have a good friend, a female African-American that, and you might have seen on Facebook too, people are putting the black symbol or whatever on there.
You mean the black square?
The black square.
Right.
I was going to say somewhere round, but okay, the black square. She chose to put
square.
Well, she chose to put gold because she said,
I know who that was.
That is what I'm feeling. And she was done with the darkness, and she's not neither right nor wrong, right? Like it is what we vibe, it is what we feel, and I appreciated her expressing that and coming out, and this is how we learn things too, is through social media and through our friends and understanding and having conversations. So,
and for her, I thought that was really cool, her doing the gold, because the black was this negative energy, but she was still doing her part,
very much so, right?
But through her words and actions.
Yes.
There is a video we all need to see, and it is by Emmanuel Achu. He's a former athlete. He's an analyst now at ESPN. Where did he? I think he ended up with the Eagles. He was in the NFL for 5 or 6 years. And his Instagram handle is @theman@chu, or you can go @the_ma_nacho. But anyway,
it'll be under here.
We will put it on there. Go to his Instagram and click on his video, and he starts it off by saying, "Welcome to the first of hopefully many episodes of uncomfortable conversations with a black man." And it's fabulous. I sent it to Gary, and he immediately turned around and sent it to dozens of his friends, because
it's authentic.
It is a conversation, and his thing, and along with what Gary said, we need to educate, and we need to become informed, and when we educate, you increase the level of understanding, which increases the level of empathy. Right. And that's what we all need to do. Right. And there was this, I'm not going to say her name, there was this one African-American woman who put a video out. She did Facebook Live, and she didn't care about George Floyd, and she called him a criminal, and he shouldn't be made out to be this hero, etc. And you have to ask yourself, why? Was it just so she'd get more views? I think the video got over 4 million views. And as I was talking to Gary about this, I didn't understand. It didn't matter that he was a criminal or he had a past record. It didn't matter. What matters is that we have an institution of the police institution that needs to be reformed. If we look at it, they're not all bad cops. They're good cops, bad cops, in everything.
Yeah. I've had bad waitresses, good waitresses. I've had bad teachers, good teachers. We've had that conversation.
We can't put all the blame on one individual, because that individual is working for somebody that's allowing that behavior. And my really big issue is, where's the accountability, and why did we need this outcry, and why did we need a viral video? But taking the emotion out of this,
good point.
There are many things that we can do, right? And through education, and I'll put these, we'll list them in the link underneath the video as things that you can listen to, ways to act. Some of the podcasts are about race, Code Switch, Intersectionality Matters, hosted by Kimberle Crenshaw, Pod for the Cause, Conference on Civil and Human Rights. On Netflix, there's the 13th American Son. I watched that, and brilliantly written with Kerry Washington in it. And she is married, well, she's divorced from a white cop, or he's in the FBI or something, and their son goes missing. And the dialogue there, if that doesn't get you to think about how people are treated, how a white young male and a black young male are treated, then you're a lost cause. Because that movie...
Keep watching.
Keep
trying.
Keep watching. Just watch it over and over again.
Keep reading. Keep action.
The books, White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram Kendi, the new Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. There's a whole bunch. And I took these off of Instagram or Facebook or something, and I'm going to be doing more Netflix and audiobooks and podcasts. Mm-hmm. And I think that as we continue to move forward, we all need to be sensitive to our surroundings. When somebody does something that we think is racially inappropriate, we can't sit back. We have to call them out. We have to continue to have the conversations that we don't want to have. And I feel like I'm not trying to take over. I'm just...
it's awesome because all this stuff is swirling in my head, and from where my world is, I have a 14-year-old son and a 17-and-a-half-year-old son, and my son, these sons, I think from my perspective, I want to have these, and continue these conversations. I know my kids and my moms that I'm surrounded by, we're talking all about this. And how do you teach the young people, the future leaders, about this? And how do you not just say, oh, this is just the news, this is part of history? How can you get that and to have those conversations? I do know in my world, the kids use Snapchat a lot, and they're back and forth, and they're arguing. Like, there are arguments happening amongst these 10, 11, 12, they're probably even younger for all I know, but my kids are, different age group. But there are huge heated arguments between Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, specifically that as one, and people, these young kids, either not understanding or maybe not believing that this is still a problem or an issue,
that this
and
is
that
still
oppression is still here. Like, part of what I wanted to say in this is really lead with love. Like, when you lead with kindness and you lead with love, I always say the joke, I'm half Czechoslovakian. Like, what's that mean? Like, you're Italian, I'm black, you're white, I'm half Indian, I'm a mixture of all of those. Like, what does that, why is the color of your skin still in 2020? Because it's never changed from the times of slavery until today. Has it gotten better? Yeah, we've sugarcoated it a little bit, I think, and we've made strides, but there is a problem in what you had mentioned earlier, police departments and public safety. There's something happening. I mean, I'm sure it's all over too, right? When we really stop and think about it. As much as I love going to Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, I have in the last week I've taken a step back and this is too much propaganda, too much, you do this, you do this, you do me, you do this. You have to, we have to find our way, like your friend did with posting the gold square. A friend of mine, her daughter was very upset with all of this, and she's in her mid to late 20s or whatever, and she didn't know, she felt helpless, and she's telling her mom, reading up, I'm going to all these websites, I'm making donations to causes that I've researched, but I still don't feel like it's enough. And I believe she told me, my friend told me that her daughter went to went to a walk, and
it was just this short little walk in the town that they live in, and they ended up at a church, and you had the mayor there, and you had many other people there,
and public safety as well,
and chief of police, whatever, and they all knelt for 8 minutes. The total of the 8 minutes that, you know, George Floyd had a knee in his neck, and it was powerful. It was moving, what she was saying, and her daughter felt like she was contributing, like she was doing something, because she was educating herself. She was learning from people that were there. And
this is not a one-stop rally. This is going to be a lifelong, in a way, journey. So I think that's one of the takeaways for me in all of this, is to continually seek the education, but also to continually talk and to have these conversations. When I said, let's do this, less than 24 hours later, you texted me, I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. And I'm like, that's what we do. That's part of what we do. Let's just put it out there. Let's give it a shot. Let's keep educating. Let's keep talking, because I don't know how you feel or what you know, what your education, what do you know about this, and what can you learn? Teach me. What can I learn from you? What can you learn from me? So all of that is an exchange, because we're changing, and if we want to change for the good, we got to lead with love and keep educating and keep talking. Keep out there.
Oh man, that's 100% dead on. I was telling Gary the other day how I go, I just want this to stop. I'm tired. I'm so tired. It's so sad. It sucks the life out of me. I cry every day. And before he could say anything, I go, now be quiet, because I have to finish this. I said to myself, now, how do you think a black male feels when he has to deal with this every single day of his life, and you're just now exploring it, being exposed to it in a way that you never have been before? So you don't get to turn the other way. You have to forge through this, regardless of how uncomfortable it is. And I have to tell you, it was my son and daughter were talking the other day on the phone, and it was on speaker. And I'll tell you, my heart never felt so much pride, because the two of them are having a discussion.
Wow. Yeah, they're adults, so they're not my kids' age.
Right. And wow. And I'm just cooking in the kitchen, cutting up fruit, and I was like, yes, this is what we're supposed to do. It's not solving the world's problems. It's not doing anything.
It's the step forward, though. It's the keeping the communication open.
Yeah.
It's the always pushing through it and trying to relate and have that empathy, as you said.
Yeah. Great. Please watch that video.
Post it again right here.
We will. And take a look. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us.
And don't sound so deflated, okay? Like, tell us what you think.
Oh, I'm saying.
You know, this is a
tell
topic.
us.
This is a topic.
What are you doing?
Like, I'm listening to you, and I love you, and I can say this to you, and I'm like, ugh, I'm tired too. Like, no, but it's good, okay? Because these are hard conversations to have. But what I want to empower people to keep freaking talking about it. Let us know what you think. Bring it up. Talk to your family. Talk to your kids. Talk to your uncle. Yeah. Call up one of your black friends and ask them how they're doing and what's going on and we talked about that. Should we have a panel? Do we have? And I almost said to myself, I think I have any black friends. Like, I was like paranoid at a moment, but I do. I have friends of all different races and colors and genders, for that matter. So keep the communication open. Yeah. That is what we do. We bring you a shot of the truth on all things that matter.
And this matters.
It matters a lot. That's why we keep talking about it. So.
And thank you for pushing me, and thank you, Gary, for pushing me, because this is probably the only topic that I've ever felt like, because what I have to say doesn't matter, but it does.
It's hard because it hits home, and I'm afraid of saying something wrong, of being offensive. And I'm the type of personality that I want people to like me. That's just who I am. And I want to be fair. I don't like confrontation. I don't like fights. And the other part of it is I just simply don't understand it. I simply don't understand why people are cruel to animals, why they, why bad things happen in the world by human hand. So I understand nature, but I don't understand by human hand. So I'm learning, and I appreciate you coaching me and guiding me, and I appreciate Garrett and all of our friends out there who helped us to come to this space and time.
Yeah, it's not easy, and it's very, very, very uncomfortable for me, but talking makes it easier and better and educated. So watch those movies, read a book, tell us what you're thinking, tell us what you're doing, tell us that you don't agree with us, tell us, because we need to keep moving forward, and we can't do this without you. Yeah. So we're not going to clink, but we're going to
elbow rub. Fist pump, dumbbell, elbow rub.
We're giving you a shot of the truth on all things that matter. And Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Thanks, guys.